For those who are upset at, I was sad to hear that Joe wasn't feeling well. I hope feels better soon. Um, we do want to, of course, give you some resources and alternatives. So if you wanted to take a look, I do have this webinar he did with us a little while back about how to find and engage major donors for your nonprofit. I think a lot of those things could be applied to year end. So feel free to take a look at that webinar as well. Cool. Wow, it is about 2:30. I am so excited to have Jenna joining us. Thanks, Jenna, for hopping on and talking a little bit more about how you can create a high performing site for year end with CauseVox. So
yeah, definitely. Today has been crazy, right? Like awesome and fun and informative. And yeah, just like give it up for Candace in the comments, show her some love. She's been awesome, like handling all this craziness, right? Managing things in a live show. It's live, folks. It's live. Yeah, let me just get started here. I'll share my screen with y'all, and then we'll get going.
Cool. Excited. Thanks, Jenna.
Oh yeah, thanks. So we are focusing on year end. We're going to talk about how to do it easily on CauseVox. I am Jenna, your presenter here. I work with customers on customer support at CauseVox. So I get to see all the stuff, all the great things that you're working on live as it's happening. So for those of you who weren't here for Candace's introduction to the fair, CauseVox is a digital fundraising platform designed to help you guys raise more money with less effort. And so we do that by housing all of your digital fundraising strategies under one roof. So we've got really excellent donation forms that you can embed right on your website. And yeah, simple for the donors. We have flexible payment options, including our new Pledge Now, Pay Later option, which allows the donor to select a large giving amount, a larger pledge, and then pay a certain amount of that automatically over time, whether it's a monthly or yearly payment. You can spin up crowdfunding campaigns. We've got the thermometer there for you. We've got social media integration, back office automation, including integrations with applications on Zapier. And then, of course, our tried and true peer-to-peer campaigns, which are super helpful to just acquire more donors and also, yeah, just spread the word about your mission and hopefully double your funds. And then, also event ticketing. So you can actually combine that all on one fundraising site. You can use donations and peer-to-peer sign up and ticketing if you need it to be a ticketed event and such. So really easy to just customize and modernize your donations on CauseVox. So now I'm going to just share with us a couple examples. If you have any questions in the meantime while I'm going through these, just pop them in the Q&A and then I'll try to answer them at the end. All right, resharing. So the first example is going to be, I'm just using a couple of examples from last year. Most of these organizations are also running a campaign this year, so they're just getting started. We really loved Dorcas Ministries' Day of Thanksgiving campaign last year, it was a year-end campaign. So you'll see just, the top part is available for your own branding of your own organization. You can use a custom domain and take CauseVox right out of the URL for an easy transition if it's linked to your website. And then, your simple stats section here, they exceeded their goal last year, which is great. As you go through the campaign, you'll have your persistent CTAs. And so you could, if you were doing event ticketing, you could add that event ticketing CTA right there. We have our donation options here. They decided to use descriptions on each tier to tie the donation to impact, which is definitely something you could do. And then if your donation form is attached to a campaign site and it's embedded on your website, the donor can just search for their team or personal fundraiser of choice and just be right on their way. We have some additional capabilities for asking additional questions of your donors. Those are custom questions, and then a really easy payment method for you using Apple or Google Pay for a faster transaction. So yeah, all of our donation forms and the fundraising sites themselves are mobile friendly. They're accessible on any mobile device or tablet. To join the campaign for your donor, your fundraisers to sign up and participate. And then the share option to social media, getting that out there to your network. You can also copy the link and text that out to your friends and family. Very, very simple. Yeah, so this is your appeal section. You can use this however you'd like to craft that really compelling message that we talked about, that Julia talked about at length earlier. You can add as many videos or graphics as you'd like. This one is mainly text. You can also link out to URLs. And I have another example of how they embedded their Twitter feed. One organization embedded their Twitter feed right on the side here, just to make it a little bit more interactive and keep people connected on social media. And then as you drop down, you have our peer-to-peer section. And so we refer to it as a hands-off peer-to-peer in the sense that basically you can set up all of the information for your fundraisers in the back end as a default, so that when they sign up through that join the campaign link, they have all of the information already for them in the appeal section. Let me get one that wasn't a sponsor. So for example, Howard, you can set up a templated appeals text, and then Howard can also change that to a more personal message like he did here. You can start with a defaulted profile image that can be changed later, as well as a recommended funding goal. So your fundraisers receive all of that information right as soon as they sign up through the link. And then it'll just prompt them through a quick series of very intuitive questions if they want to upload or change any information. And then they're all set, they're off and running. They can just log into their dashboard at any time, making it really simple to fundraise. Another great feature that we have now is that you can actually add the toolkit right to the fundraiser's dashboard when they log in. So if you're providing an equipping toolkit, which we do recommend, they're going to be able to have access to that right in their dashboard. You don't need to send it separately. And then right here at the bottom, we do have an update section that's available for you to just tell a little bit more about your story. And, this can include thank you messages to your donors, client stories, or, testimonials. It could be fundraiser highlights. In our next example, they actually embedded their fundraiser toolkit right into an update, and that can be shared out to social media as well. So these updates, again, serve as blog style posts. It's just another section of your main campaign site, and they are just as customizable as the rest of your appeal text. And then, of course, you see your donors at the bottom. So yeah, this was a Day of Thanks year-end campaign that they did just exceedingly well on. So congrats to the Dorcas Ministries. Our next campaign is from the Pandemic Professors. This was also last year's campaign. I don't know if anybody has already seen it, but we just really liked their strategy. Just from beginning to end, they had really compelling color concepts and design, and also just the whole structure of the campaign, the whole message. They were raising funds right after the main hit of the COVID pandemic, and they really called out attention to how their services helped their community of students through tutoring. And so, yeah, just really clear messaging, really nice, captivating video. We could always put those videos right at the top here, which would make it really great, right up in front, a different media asset at the top. But they still did a really nice job. And then I really love the clear messaging on how to help, like a very clear CTA in the text as well as in the persistent CTA buttons at the top. So, they presented the options. You can make a donation. You can, if you don't have the ability to donate right now, why don't you start a personal page? And then that can actually help individuals just allow them to raise even more funds than they would have been able to donate on their own. So that's why we always encourage peer-to-peer fundraising on all of your campaigns if you're able. And just again, start with that community of individuals who are already behind your mission and are already either donating or volunteering, or they are, key stakeholders. And then of course the encouragement to follow them and share across social media. And then loved how they told the donors where their donation is going. Yeah, so as we go through this campaign, probably thinking of some examples that our speakers have already mentioned. We've got some examples of testimonial quotations. You could go further by presenting, images of the people that you're helping with your work, other stories and such, whether they're through text or video or photo. Again, they also had peer-to-peer, as we've mentioned, did a really great job setting up their personal pages. And then, as I had mentioned, let's take a look at Pandemic Professor's embedded toolkit. I just think it's such a cool idea. Pretty much anything that is at a URL, so anything with a web address, can probably most likely be embedded in our appeal text. So yeah, it just makes it really accessible to your participants. So if people are not familiar with the idea of a fundraising toolkit, it's essentially telling the fundraiser the expectation of their role, what their mission is, what you're hoping that they're able to do through fundraising this year. Yeah, pretty much telling them everything they need to know about being a fundraiser. And that includes probably like a communication schedule and maybe some example templates for them to use, whether it's email or social media posts. And so, we have several examples of these. If you want to see more, I'm sure Candace will be able to link some examples of these toolkits for you in the follow-up information. But they're really beneficial because fundraising is only as helpful as your fundraisers are equipped, as equipped your fundraisers are. If they're not equipped, they don't feel confident, they might not perform as well as they can. So you want to make sure you give them all the information so they don't have to be scratching their head or, wondering what to say and not feeling empowered. You can also provide images and such. So we really encourage this. Last year, we actually created a bunch of templated Giving Tuesday graphics. Candace made them actually, and it was downloadable. You could actually edit them. So I'm not sure if you'd be interested in using those again, or if Candace will probably get on and explain if she has anything else coming up. But yeah. Here's our second example. And then the last one that I was going to show is Faith in Action does a Together We Give campaign. It's really like their year-end campaign every year, and they do so well just bringing their communities together. And here's that Twitter feed on the side that I was mentioning. And so they actually have a section in English of their appeal text and then one in Spanish. So, knowing your audience, who are you trying to reach out to, and making your campaign accessible to them is really important. And then they have their fundraisers and they have their teams. So they have a lot of partnering organizations working with them towards their goal. And I think that's part of the reason why they're always so successful. Everyone's always on board and encouraged by their campaign. One of our organizations, Catalog for Philanthropy, I probably should have pulled this example up, but They raise funds through Giving Tuesday usually with us. And what they do is they are raising funds on behalf of other local organizations, and they actually translate this team section into a representation of the different local companies that they're benefiting. So that's also another option if you're raising funds on behalf of, students or children or other local communities. These team pages could easily be converted into representing, that person or such that you want to raise funds on behalf of. And then of course your team members will be listed on the bottom of that page, and all of the funds that they raise will be reflected on the main team goal. So it's a way to create a sense of community. It's a way to create a sense of competition among your fundraisers. And I think it's just a really fun way to go into year end with this community mindset. So yeah, I guess I can move on to pricing real quick. I'll check the chat and the Q&A to see if we have any questions so far. Oh, great. So Candace is going to link the Giving Tuesday graphics. Thank you for that. Yeah, so just a quick FYI, we do have a free plan. So you can always raise funds on CauseVox for free. That'll give you unlimited donation forms, unlimited peer-to-peer crowdfunding sites. And so, yep, no monthly fee, no platform fee. And then of course we do have our paid plans and up. This just allows you a little bit more customization in, the things that you're able to do. Event ticketing does start on our paid plans, as well as those team pages. But we have pretty low processing fees. You can actually do 0% option if you ask your donors to tip CauseVox directly, or you can just ask your donor to cover the fees. And right now, as Candace said, we are actually offering 50% off of either of the month-to-month plans, the first month on the month-to-month, I believe. So definitely schedule that demo. You can go to our website and schedule a live demo with us, or you can use the link that I think we can put in the chat soon. You can use that link to schedule a demo with us as well. Yeah, we really just want to be here and help you guys raise more this year. So yeah, it's not about the money. It's never about the money. But yeah, we just want to make it accessible to you so that you can do great things in your community. So yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen real quick. I know it was a pretty quick demo, but if anybody has questions, I'm happy to answer them. Let's check. How do you connect people once we set up the page? Putting it into our social media, email the link, all the above. Let's see. So yeah, so once you set up your fundraising site, you can take the site, the CauseVox site that you created, you can take the URL and link it to any component on your website first and foremost. And then you can start using that link in all of your email promotion, email communication. So that's one way to get people to the direct link to your fundraising site and to that donation form. Simultaneously, you can even take the donation form itself, extract it out of the campaigns, like take the donation form and just embed the donation form on your website and just, have the CTA for the donate button there. And then in addition, you're really just going to be using that CauseVox link, or if, as I had said, you can change it to your custom domain and start sharing it to social media, putting it in your email messaging. Yeah, so I would say all of the above for sure.
Thanks so much, Jenna. I put some of the links in the chat with the social media toolkit. I haven't updated that for this year, but I probably should go ahead and do that. Although you can pretty easily just change the dates on those. And there's some Giving Tuesday email templates. These are from a little ways back, but I think a lot of it still applies. So those should be pretty easily accessible. Again, as Jenna mentioned, we're doing 50% off all plans when you book a demo. So that's $200 a month standard plan becomes $100 if you just basically explore more, and you'll set up you'll set up a time to chat with us about what your year-end plans are, and then we'll show you a little bit about how we can help, more tailored to you personally. So you got like a little bit of a taste, but we can really tailor it to what your fundraising plans are. So that link is in the chat as well. I also linked how Catalog for Philanthropy raised over 1.2 million with Giving Tuesday. So you can take a look at that article if you're interested. And I also just wanted to give you the opportunity to explore more sites. There's causevox.com/blog, and there's nonprofit crowdfunding and peer-to-peer website examples. It's some of our favorite sites from this year. Might just spark some ideas for you. And we'll probably end up doing one very similar about just like year-end fundraising specifically. But I think a lot of the same things that make a site high performing at any other time of the year also applies for year end. So I recommend you take a look at those. And we can always send you more examples if you're interested. So feel free to kind of, yeah, keep exploring. And we have so many resources as well if you are looking for more year-end fundraising resources. Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. Amazing. Any questions? Any more questions?
We've got pros.
Yeah.
Pros in the house.
I actually maybe wanted to throw one more resource in the chat. We have our year-end giving guide. And this has a lot of examples as well, as a lot of other just best practices and resources and things like that. So feel free to take a look at that. Cool. Lots of great stuff. Thanks, Jenna.